Welcome back to the channel. This week we're spending our entire week with this 2025 Infiniti QX80. Now, to address the issue, my voice sounds a little bit weird. I do have a little bit of laryngitis starting to recover, so as the video goes on, it may or may not come back, but this is the way we sound for now. But anyways, QX80 really nice. It's the Autograph version, so it's the fully loaded air suspension, 360-degree camera, you name it, I've got it here. An extremely luxurious SUV from Infiniti. Not something that I would expect from a company like Infiniti, as they've, been maybe struggling a little bit, but this might put them back in place because I think it really does compete with the, the high-end Escalades and stuff like that. Maybe it doesn't look as cool or as interesting or as, aggressive as those ones, but still, the things that it has and the things that it does kind of allows it to kind of keep up with the current market. I really do think so. It's quite quick. It's got a bunch of cool stuff inside and out. So let's hop in. I'm going to give you my first driving impressions. You can see it's snowing a little bit now, so that's fun. So I'll give you my first driving impressions, kind of tell you what it's like to live with this thing in the snow, in the winter, and what it's like luxurious-wise. We'll check it out throughout the whole week, but let's hop in. All right, on the road now. Going to give you my first impressions before my voice completely dies for the day because of laryngitis. What a wonderful disease to get in the winter. But anyways, there's quite a bit of snow on the ground actually right now, which is very interesting. But so far I've just popped it into snow mode and it's just been handling things very well. It's cutting power a little bit, but that's kind of what you want, right? You want, traction over power, so that's no problem. You can kind of feel all the wheels turning and working, so very nice. Obviously, I am on winter tires. In Quebec, there's no way you would survive all-wheel drive. Even if you had the best all-wheel drive system, you're not surviving with all-season or summer tires here in Quebec. It's just not happening. Are you fucking... Whoa, that guy just blew his stop sign. Holy. Okay, I don't know if I'll leave that in, but oh my God, I don't think I swore. So, whoa. What a moron. Okay, let's get back on track. So, one thing that we could use the dash cam system that this thing has. We could have recorded that. That was wild. Anyways, yeah, handling's been very good. Like, I feel like I can predict the vehicle. Like, right now we're taking a bit of a tight turn here and a little bit of ice, a little bit of slipping, obviously, because it's pretty bad out, but still decent. One thing I'll tell you right now that I hate and I wish other manufacturers would stop doing is those turn signals. They have like this, it returns to center no matter what, even if I haven't turned yet. Like, it just keeps popping back up. And I don't know, many manufacturers have done this. Infinity's still one of them that still tries to make it happen. Stop. I hate it. It sucks. It will never be good. It's the worst part about it, honestly. It's like, I look like a moron trying to turn and change lanes. I'm like, oh, I'm going right, now I'm going left, now I'm going right. Just doesn't work. Now, this thing also does have a twin turbo V6, and I think that's perfect. I'm not really missing my V8 or anything like that in this case, because when it actually is going, obviously when it's not snowing, but even when it is, I can even pop it into normal mode and you should be able to hear it. Actually, let's do a bit of sport mode in the winter, see what happens. I don't know if it's loud enough for the mic to pick it up, but I definitely hear like a kind of a low grumble, which I actually really enjoy. It sounds really nice, and I don't believe it's pumped in audio, and it's grumbling at like, below 2,000 RPM, which is very cool, and I do enjoy that. And I didn't like the steering wheel at first when I first got in and drove it to the filming location. I was like, I don't know if, but actually, like, it's actually pretty nice to use. It's very comfortable in your hands, and I think that's the whole goal of the QX80 is just to be comfortable when you're in your seat, and just the vehicle be comfortable when it's in your hands. And I think they've done a pretty good job at doing that so far. Push it a little bit. Oh yeah, we definitely do have some speed. I can't go that fast because the roads are not necessarily done here, but we will go faster throughout the week here when we get a bit drier roads and stuff like that. Hopefully we can. Might not be able to. I don't want to wrap this big bus of a three-row around a tree. I'd rather the other journalists also have a bit of fun with it too. So yeah, first impressions is this is a very high quality car that is going to compete competitively in the market. I don't know if many people know it exists, and I don't know if many people are even looking at Infiniti at this point, but maybe you should, because I think it does compete well. And so far, it's actually surprised me. So let's see what it can do throughout the rest of the week. All right, welcome back outside with the QX80. We've got a much more dirty car than I think I've shown you at the beginning of the week, but that's to be a given, right? Because we are unfortunately a white vehicle in an absolutely dirty scenario, and there's not much I can do to fix it, because when it gets really cold here, a lot of the car washes clothes. So that's me out of luck. So yeah, but still, it still looks really cool. Still looks pretty decent. I would probably look way better in the summer because it's not full of, you know, multicolored whatever. But look, very cool. Lots of space. I like the adaptive suspension. You can see right now, since I got out of the car and it's in park, it's actually in its access mode. So this is the lowest it can get, and it actually looks really cool like this. I do really enjoy the back of it, the tail lights. There's not a lot that stands out exterior wise, right? Like, it's more on the interior where it really shows its class and stuff like that, but I still don't mind the exterior. I think it's still, you know, it doesn't have those crazy lines or whatever, but I think it looks modern enough to kind of stick around for a year or two and make a decent impression for those who want to buy it. Let's check out the trunk space, actually. That's one thing I don't think I've showed you yet. Also, you can see it says Autograph right on the side there. Pretty cool. Button is possibly frozen. Oh, no, it's not. It's right here. Boom. I'm going to open this. Check this out. So now I know that some people, there is a shelf that you can actually put up here. I don't seem to have it in mine right now, but that's fine. The rear seats are power folding, which is really cool. So you press the button on the side there, and it's going to actually just fold the seat down for you. You don't have to do a thing. But look at this. Even the third row has heated seats and power adapters. That's ridiculous. Okay, that's luxury stuff right there. That's, you know, something you'd expect to see with something that's worth over 100 grand, which this absolutely is. So very nice to see that. And you can also adjust your air suspension. You can make it go up or down should you be doing things that you need it. And you also have a little power outlet back here. So you have one of those coolers that you need to plug in, but you can do it right back here. So very, very cool for that. Of course, the tailgate is automatic, so we like that as well, but it's cold. I'm gonna hop back in and we'll pick it back up later on in the week. All right, so sitting inside the QX80 right now, it is a really nice place to spend time. You can see it's really bad outside. We'll take it for a drive in just a second, but I want to show you a little bit of the interior here. So we've got this really nice steering wheel. I actually didn't enjoy it too much at first, but it's actually kind of grown on me. Very nice and big. I enjoy it. We've got like pretty much touch buttons basically to control, you know, either the screen here or the gauge cluster. And like you can see the scroll wheel is kind of like slanted. I find that's really interesting because no matter what surface I'm trying to control, it's actually really intuitive like that. And then I can also click this button right here, and that's how you would control your screen without actually having to touch it, because you can see it's quite far away from where the driver actually needs to sit. So I think that's really awesome. These two buttons down here to change media or to skip the track or whatever it is, will actually change to a hang up or accept a call button when you get a call or when you're in a call, which I think is very cool. On the left-hand side, we do have just the, you know, basic cruise control stuff and also the safety stuff. You know, a lot of the blind spot stuff is all going to be controlled through here. All the way on the left-hand side, you can see I've got my lane keep assist, the auto start stop, the trunk button, and I've also got 2 seats of memory seats, the brake hold, and the parking brake is right there. I also really like this liner, nice and suede, very cool. On the side of the door, you can also see the really nice material. I enjoy that quite a bit. Then we have our digital gauge cluster where you can kind of change the theme if you need to, but this one's pretty decent. It's got a pretty decent speed to it as well. Very nice, fully digital, so I like it. There's not too much customizable stuff on like the left or right panels. It's really only the middle. But here, let me show you what it looks like on a different kind of theme here. So you go settings, and then we're gonna go down into customize display. Then change meter view. It's right at the top. Boom. And we can do dynamic, which is going to be a little bit more futuristic, I guess. And then enhanced, which is the simplified one. And then elegant, which is the one I use primarily. So get out of this, and you can see I've got Google Maps built in, so it will load up a Google map. If I kind of scroll up right here, you can have that right in the middle. You can't really make it too much bigger, other than when you switch the themes, that middle part will get a little bit bigger, but again, not something I use. I usually am on the trip computer anyway, so no problems there. I've also got 2 paddle shifters on the steering wheel. They're plastic, but again, I don't really think you're going to be using that on here. Moving over to our digital display here, very nice, very quick. I like the quick animations. I like the animations in general, and then it has something that I think every car should have, this dash cam feature right here. So I can take a look at the outside. I can record an event. I can flip it to the inside camera. There I am. It's actually that camera right there that you're seeing me from. And you can, again, record an event from that and do whatever you need. So I think that's also very awesome. And I think more cars should have that. as just a safety feature. Instead of having to buy it aftermarket, just throw it in the vehicle, and it makes everything much easier. You don't have to wire something. It doesn't look disgusting. It's just much easier like this. Other than this, you do have your wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It's very easy to kind of find the vehicle settings, different things like that. No issues there. In terms of physical buttons, well, if you're a fan of physical buttons, don't get used to having them in this, because these two here are really the only physical buttons in terms of control-wise. Everything else is going to be controlled right down here. Speaking of which, my seat is absolutely on fire. So you got your own different screen for the HVAC control, which is interesting. Some people are absolutely going to hate it. It's like this really haptic feedback. You really have to press it all like it's an actual button. It's kind of interesting the way it works. I don't hate it. It's also not my favorite thing in the world. I'm very indifferent to it, but you guys let me know what you think in the comments. This is also where all the drive modes are going to be. You can see them all right here. Very nice. I can also switch the ride height. Traction control on or off button is going to be there too. And then obviously we have our gear selector, which is just a set of buttons. I don't really care about that. Camera settings, which are very good, decently high quality. It doesn't feel too dated, and I can see everything I need to see. It's got a full 360-degree 3D render thing, should you need that. This is a big vehicle, so it's nice to have that as well. A little bit lower than that, we have a wireless charger with a little bit of storage compartment. We also have the USB-C cable, more cup holders right here, and then something pretty interesting, which is actually the cool box. You see how deep it gets? I can turn it on, you'll hear it. So you can keep your drinks cool and stuff like that. Passenger side, you can see like an Infiniti logo more at nighttime. There is some ambient lighting, not so much present in the daytime. Take a look at these seats though. You can see I've got the surround sound headrest audio, the clip, I think that's how you say it. I'm not sure. We've got the Autograph in the seats. I really like the seats here. They really hold you nice and tight. Very, very nice, very sporty, very elegant. A lot of the material in here just feels extremely high quality, extremely high class. It feels like they didn't cheap out on anything, and I think that's super important, and I'm really, really liking it. So let me know what you think about the interior. Let's take it for another drive. Let's see if we can get up to more speed. Let's see if we can maybe go on the highway possibly. So let me mount the GoPro up. All right, so getting back out on the road now with the QX80. Laryngitis still going strong, affecting me in the worst way possible with my voice. But yeah, it's been pretty cool this week. I've gotten to experience the car in all types of weather, dry, snow, just, mostly snow though, honestly. And I think there's more on the way. So that's fun. I just, the winter sucks. I feel like I can never keep a vehicle clean. It's just the worst thing in the world. And then Infiniti goes and puts a white car on the bread sleeve. But, look, I'm glad to be driving it either way, because it's extremely luxurious. I keep thinking back to my times with the Escalade and things like, the GMC Yukon Denali, like all the top trims of truck-like SUVs, truck-like big SUVs. And this does keep up with that competition. And those guys have been doing it for a long time, but so has Infiniti. Maybe Infiniti hasn't been doing it to the same level as them, but I think this is a bit of them actually trying to do it. And it's impressed me across the board. It's impressed people that I have brought inside this vehicle. I still absolutely hate these turn signals. I won't get used to them, and neither will the rest of the market, I don't think. If you ever experience one of these turn signals in an Infiniti, pretty sure a lot of them, almost all of them probably have it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Sucks. But just the ride quality is, decent. It's definitely not Escalade level, we'll give it that, but the air suspension definitely does help. I think if there's anywhere where this vehicle is lacking, it maybe is the ride quality compared to those other ones, but it's really it's close. Like, it is super close. You'd almost have to drive them back to back to really notice. I just notice it a lot more, I think, because I spent a significant amount of time with both the Yukon and the Escalade as well. So I do have a good feel for those vehicles, but I haven't really spent that much time in Infinitis. I think this might be my second or third Infiniti that I've ever done in my career so far. So, I'm kind of getting them at their best, right? Potentially. Especially with the merger going on, who knows what's going to happen there. But yeah, this is a really good spot to be in for Infiniti, I think. But let me put it in sport mode. We're going to merge onto the highway here and show you what that's like. Let's get up to some speed here. Ooh, it downshifted very nicely. Oh yeah, we're already at 100. I'm already going highway speeds without even really being. There we go. Okay. Hey, this I think it's got a twin turbo V6, really, really clean, and it's actually a really, really clean sound from it too. And the transmission isn't that sluggish. It's obviously slower. There's those turn signals again, but let's do some passing here. Of course, we're doing the speed limit the entire time, no worries. But yeah, we're right up to speed. Absolutely no problem. I don't feel like the transmission is actually that sluggish at all. I actually find it to be quite responsive, which is nice. Maybe a slight bit of turbo lag, but again, twin turbo kicks in relatively quickly, and you're off to your races relatively quickly as well. So it's very nice. So even in like minus 12, it's currently minus 20 outside actually. It's performing surprisingly well. I really didn't expect this level of performance from Infiniti, and I really didn't expect this level of luxury from Infiniti. So that's super impressive. Drives on the highway perfectly fine. It's got the lane keep assist as well, so you're not going to really have any problems if you don't like, if you have problems keeping a big vehicle in between the lines. Well, it's got the assist there for that as well, which is never a bad thing. And there's those turn signals again. You see, I didn't want to put it all the way up, and it's making me look like a fool. I've also been engaging snow mode a ton more. Like I think yesterday I used it so much. I just had to engage snow mode because none of the roads were done. Now, obviously it's cold out, so we're not going. Probably don't have maximum grip, but still, it's a lot better than it was yesterday driving through the ice and the snow for sure. I guess my biggest concern with this vehicle, and I guess it's a concern with Infiniti as a whole, is how long can they sustain this, because I just simply have not seen another one. And I feel like the QX80 has been out for long enough that if people were genuinely interested in buying one, they would get it. And I think that's might be the issue, is that Infiniti's kind of been kind of under the radar for a very long time, and I mostly only see older Infinitis popping up here around Quebec, never really the new ones. And so I worry that this thing's like $128,000 as tested. So that's a lot of money. So I just worry that, you're just not going to see a vehicle like this because, GMC exists and Escalade exists. I just feel like they made a pretty good product, but who's going to see it? I don't know. Hopefully me making these videos is going to help, potential buyers maybe see that Infiniti is trying to do something here and do something the right way, I think. And that's really cool to see. I just hope it catches. That's the only thing, because I really don't see that many Infinitis just out on the road in general, and they're definitely not new. This car does get quite a bit of looks though, probably because of the scarcity of seeing it actually in the wild. I also have BC plates that could be doing it too. But yeah, people are looking at it in the parking lot, like when you're at a red light, you'll get a couple of stares and stuff. So it is definitely a noticeable vehicle because it is relatively new, give or take. But I think it's out of a lot of people's price range. Definitely out of mine. I would have to, declare bankruptcy and take out a new mortgage somehow. Like, it would just be this crazy thing. But yeah, definitely out of my price range. But I'm happy to be driving it. Very happy to be driving it for a week for the people that are way better off than me in life and can afford these things. I'm happy to be talking about it for you. But that's going to do it for like the second driving part, the one where we spent a little bit more time with it and got to really test it out a little bit more. Also, fuel economy wise, terrible. Currently the average is like 14.6. So yeah, but I idle a lot. It's probably going to get worse as the cold and the idling that I need to do for more filming picks up. So I'm probably thinking we're going to see like 18, 17, something disgusting. It's not going to be good. But I'll pick it back up a little bit later. All right, so we've got the hood open of the Infiniti QX80, and you can see confirmation that we do have the twin turbo V6. Quite a decent little engine. I don't think this thing needs a V8. To me, it just makes kind of sense with a V6. Wasn't expecting it to have a V8 anyways. I don't think it really needs it that much. So it's got 450 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque. I believe, if I'm wrong, again, it'll be up on the screen. It's also got a 9-speed automatic transmission, all-wheel drive. So pretty decent stuff here in terms of specs. Very nice. All right, so back outside one final time with the Infiniti QX80. I feel like my laryngitis is going away, and so unfortunately is the QX80. But it's been such a fun week with this thing, such a luxurious week. It really impressed me how I think it seriously can keep up with its competition in the market, with the guys like Cadillac and things like that. Are people looking at them to do that? Absolutely not. And I think that's going to be part of Infiniti's problem that they're going to have to navigate over the next couple of years. but still, it's a really solid platform, a great redesign. You can see it's extremely dirty though, because these Quebec roads, look at that, a huge patch of salt. That's all it is, and unfortunately the vehicles do pick it up, and I can't wash cars because it's minus like 24 and everything's just terrible. So, you know, if you live in Quebec, you absolutely know what I'm talking about, and you hate it too. But yeah, very, very nice vehicle. Love this front end. It's probably my favorite part of the vehicle, besides the interior. The interior is so upscale, so nice. And I just really, really have enjoyed my time. Super expensive, you're gonna pay for it, but you might actually be getting what you pay for in terms of luxury vehicle stuff, right? That's just where the market is, and things are crazy expensive right now. It's kind of unavoidable. But it's freezing, like I said, my hands are gonna fall off from frostbite, so I'm gonna hop in, I'll give you my final driving impressions. Let's do it. All right, so final time on the road with the Infiniti QX80, and what a nice and comfortable week it's been. I think the QX80 is just built to be comfortable, a nice point A to point B in like the highest luxurious experience possible, and it does a really good job at delivering that. It honestly does a surprising job at delivering that. I really didn't expect this level of luxury from Infiniti. I've always sort of expected Infiniti, they've always kind of done things a little bit the strange way, right? With the two screens mounted into the dash. It's always been a little unique. This time we do have two screens again, but it's much better done. Like, it's much better implemented. I also see like the QX80 kind of becoming pretty much a staple in like those high-end chauffeur businesses. You know, they're probably going to want to add one of these things because it kind of does keep up with the Lincolns and the Cadillacs of the world, and I think that's pretty cool. And I definitely think the redesign is the way to go. I think it was the way to go if they wanted to keep the QX80 in circulation. So I'm really glad to see it here. It's just a welcome change. It's been a really good mall crawler as well. It's been a really good point A to point B. I mean, it hasn't been the greatest on gas. I've done around 580 kilometers, and we've got 16.3 liters per 100 kilometers. So for me, obviously my fuel economy is going to be a lot worse than yours, like way worse, because I'm idling. It's cold outside when I'm idling to film different parts of the vehicle. Yours might be a little bit better, maybe not too much better, because I think it's just kind of overall high for the QX80, but still, yours will be better than mine. That's the good news. I really haven't noticed issues either that bother me with the QX80 to the point where I wouldn't buy the vehicle, except for the turn signals. That I would have to try to do something about, because the turn signals suck. I hate them. I still hate them. I've hated them all week. They have not grown on me. They will not ever grow on me. Get rid of them. Just, that's it. That's bye-bye. But other than that, it's been really good. I don't feel like it needs a V8. I think the V6 twin turbo makes perfect sense in this scenario. You don't need anything that's crazy fast. I don't really think people are buying QX80s to be extremely fast or really extremely loud or anything like that. You're just buying it to be luxurious. That's pretty much it. Because if you can afford the prices at the pump, you can afford the car. And if you can afford the car, you can usually afford the prices at the pump. That's just kind of how it goes, right? But yeah, I've really enjoyed my time with this thing. No really big complaints. Great redesign. Very expensive vehicle though, so you're not going to see a lot of these out on the road. That might be part of Infiniti's problem, is that nobody knows it exists, number one, and number two, it's really expensive, so the people that do know can't afford it anyways. But let me know what you think. I want to know what you think about everything. Would you get it in this configuration? What do you think about the interior? What do you think about the sound design? Everything. Exterior. Are you in the market? Do you own a previous generation? Do you like the previous generation better than this one? I want to hear you in the comments, and we'll talk about it in a little bit. And with that being said, make sure you like and subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this one, and I will see you in the next week. See you in the next car. Take care.